Hey there, and welcome to the Tarot in Action, and we're going to talk about the Magician today. The Magician, of course, can represent manifesting something new in your life. He is a card of manifestation. He represents new beginnings, taking action, and desire. I think pretty much the most important action we can take with the Magician, and maybe one of the most important, is to focus on our desires. You can see these flowers in front of him. Really, they're flowers all around the card, but the ones that are in the front here, they represent his focus. He knows that he needs to focus on, the highest vibrations possible to manifest what he wants. So again, the easiest action to take when you get the Magician is to focus on joy, happiness, love, just abundance itself, pretty much all of those things. He usually shows up in a reading when we are hoping to, of course, manifest something in our life. Traditionally, he would show up a lot in back in the day when tarot came out, in love readings. So, he would show up when someone's trying to manifest a new beginning in love or something like that. Another great action to take with the Magician is to set goals just in general. Sometimes we just need like a North Star. We just need something to kind of aim at. We need a general idea of the direction we're going in, and it can just be that simple with the Magician, just understanding like what you want to do or even why you want to do it. I think there are other cards in the tarot personally that really truly represent our why, like why we're doing something. But that can definitely be helpful with the Magician when he shows up. Sometimes I feel with the Magician that it can also represent needing to kind of stay with what you have. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot. You can see that he has every single suit, the pentacle, the cup, he has the sword and the wand in front of him. Sometimes I think we're very, very close to being successful with the Magician, even though he's at the very beginning of the major arcana. Maybe we're working on a project, a business, or we're working towards something, just anything. And the Magician can come up when we are like this close to accomplishing our goal. We just might need to use a different tool. We might just need to use something different. It reminds me of a meme that went around like years ago. I talk about this all the time, where it's like one guy, he's digging towards some diamonds, and there's another guy in the bottom, and he's like this far away from the diamonds, but he's turning around. The Magician kind of reminds us that sometimes the goal that we are looking for, or whatever we're looking for, is right around the corner. We just need to kind of keep moving forward. And one of the easiest actions to take if you're not sure what to do is to just use a different tool. If you're working on a business or a relationship, it's like maybe you're coming at it with communication, but maybe it needs more action with the wand that is in front of him. Maybe it needs more desire. Maybe it needs more love in general with the cup, or maybe it needs to be grounded with the pentacle. Those are just a few examples of what you can do with the energy that he works with. There are like many, many more, based off of all the suits that he has mastery over. And like I said, those are just some ideas. The Magician also comes up when we are in like a development stage where we could be at the very beginning of something, or we're developing into something and we really don't know where it's going. So he shows up a lot in development stages, and we need to realize that we can just receive so much more than we possibly could imagine. It's like with this YouTube channel. When I started this YouTube channel, I thought that tarot would only ever maybe get me like 10,000 subscribers, and now I have 600 and something, right? So, to me, he can represent like being at the very beginning of something where you don't really realize where it can go. He also kind of represents, again, needing to add things on to a project that you could be working on, because again, maybe you don't realize how far something can go. You don't realize that something has no limits. Something could expand and become something so much greater or bigger. So he kind of represents giving something your all, and I feel like that's another action that we can take. And what I mean by that is, again, he has mastery over all the suits. So he doesn't just talk about something, he also takes action. He nurtures it. He puts love into it with the Ace of Cups. So if the Magician shows up, a great action to take is to give something everything you got, to kind of like give it your all and make sure you're putting all forms of energy into it. And, because he has all the tools he needs in front of him to succeed. Sometimes I also feel that the magician can represent making a change for sure. He has that snake that is wrapped around his body, and the type of change that we make with the magician is reinvention. The snake is the Ouroboros that is wrapped around him, and it just kind of represents reinventing yourself or making a change to yourself. And sometimes that's a good action as well. I would say that if you're thinking about making a change and the magician shows up in a reading, then that is kind of like confirmation from the universe, and that is an action that you can take. Again, I think the most important thing is focusing on the desires and focusing on things like beauty, joy, happiness. Any of those high vibration feelings with the magician, we can manifest quite a bit. So that's the magician. Again, if you want to learn more about tarot, I have my tarot masterclass, and that is linked in the description down below. But we are going to move on to the high priestess.